Hey everyone, my name is Jillian and I'm making this video to help you with the Google aspect of your training. You've already got your resource guide with 100 stickies, your 2-inch binder with all these other awesome resources. Now let's dive into the online component of this training. It's time to work with the Google Drive. So your trainer has already put together a Google site with all of the resources that you may need to refer back to, not only for your final project, but just in general, this whole new model, this new way of thinking and approaching curriculum. Okay, the first thing I want to tell you is that you're going to want to make sure you are opening the correct Google Drive. If you're anything like me, you might have multiple Google accounts. So when we talk about getting into Google Drive, make sure that you're signed in under the correct account. Also, some of you might have 2 different emails that you've used to sign up for this training and for your job. So for example, my work email is my school, like the @mps-edu.org, blah, 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 all that. But the account that I use to access Google is a different ending. So it's like @k12. So it's just a little different. So keep that in mind. You might use a different Google account than your work email account. So if your trainer is telling you they sent you an email, just double check both, okay? Especially if it's the links to the Google folders, that's gonna be in your Google account, which may or may not be the same as your work account. Okay, so I'm gonna show you my screen for the rest of this video. Certainly you'll notice some differences in yours, but in general, I hope you'll be able to go back and re-watch the parts that you might be missing. Okay, here we go. Now the first thing I notice when I log in is that I'm actually in the wrong account, all right? So there's 2 ways to fix this. You can either sign out of your account or just click on your other account that may or may not be there. I know for me, I'm gonna sign out because my browser is gonna wanna keep going back to my main email address. So I'm gonna sign out and then sign back into the correct account. As I said, I have a million addresses. All right, so I'm in my Google account that I gave to the FacT trainers. And there are a couple ways to do this. The easiest way I would say would be to click on Shared with Me. Now I have a lot of things that were recently shared with me. I'm looking for a folder, all right? So yours may look like this, all right? Or you may have a folder that's already specifically made for you, shared with you, and I'll show you what that looks like for me. All right, so I kind of did that quick, but I did that quickly because I know that the way that yours is gonna look is a little different than mine. So a shortcut, if that just stressed you out, is go to Search Drive, and you can either do FacT, all right, or even Matsal. And what I was looking for is my specific folder. All right, the totally other way to do this is to go to your Gmail account associated, again, the correct Gmail account. So go to your Gmail account. And then your trainer, who's awesome, probably emailed you an invitation, okay? So for mine, they sent me an email. FacT Matsal has invited you to view the following shared folder. Click on that, and it will bring you to another folder. Okay, so there are some great participant resources, maybe a pictures folder. It all depends on which training you did. I did mine in Leominster, so it might look different than yours. So the good thing about your training is that they have already made a folder for you. So for me, I'm gonna go into this. I'm Jmorin, Jillian Morin, and I have the assignments that I need to finish and pass in. Now, we can't help it as teachers but to say, pass in your work, turn in, upload. You're gonna hear that a lot. Ignore it. The work that you're doing in Google Drive is going to be saved, okay? So you're gonna be working with Google Docs. All right, let me get into that. Let me just dive in before I ramble on too long. So once you get into your folder, you're going to see some different Google Docs. Now I know that they're Google Docs because of this image right here, okay? That tells me that it's a Google Doc. Now, I recommend, if you can, doing all of your work in Google Doc and not downloading it to Word, making changes uploading it, downloading it, all of this, okay? So the reason why we're using Google Docs is because it's like a live document that not only I can go in and edit and tweak and everything's saved automatically, but also your trainers can go in and make comments for you to check things out, make edits possibly, or you can make little notes for yourself. So let me show you mine. So when I open up my unit, it's a rough draft for sure. I know here I don't have WIDA standards, so I know I need to go back and add that in. So not only will I see this, but the trainers will see that I've thought about it, I recognize that I'm missing something, and I put it in there to resolve, you know, if I don't have time this week, really don't have time, then I can go back later on before I use this unit to remember those things that I had. All right, so here's my FLGs, here's my understanding questions, and here are a lot of thoughts that I've had. And of course, my trainer can also go in and say, give reason why this is important. You haven't really talked about this. If I want to make comments here back to the trainer or to myself, I can do that to go back and forth. If I feel like I've resolved the issue, all right, so this is highlighted, I can click resolve, and I know I don't need to go back and change anything now. So let me show you how to make a comment if you want to do that. Using key vocabulary. Maybe I want to elaborate on this, you know, maybe I want to say key vocabulary related to the topic. I don't know, maybe not. But if I want to make a comment, I make a highlight on an area and click right here, add a comment. Go into more details. All right, so that'll show up. I can remind myself, oh yeah, I want to do that again. Also, if you get to peer edit, maybe you can share your documents with somebody else you're working with or someone from another district. You can do the same thing. So you can go in and comment on theirs and they can comment on yours. And it's really, really, really helpful. All right, so let's say that you know for sure you're not going to have the internet at your house and you want to make changes to this at home using Word doc, or for me, Pages on a Mac. So what you can do is download the document. So file, download as. So I'm going to download it as Microsoft Word. All right. It's going to pop up in my downloads folder as well as in the bottom of my screen. But again, I'm using a MacBook. So I don't have Word on this computer, but what you can do is click on it and it'll open it up in Word. For me, it's going to open it up in a different app called Pages. So from here, I can make some changes. So let's say WIDA standards, check out this online resource, whatever. So you can make notes to yourself here, the same thing that we're doing online, but now you're doing it at home, and maybe you're a little nervous about not having access. So you make your changes in Word doc or Pages, whatever, then you can download it or save it as a Word doc again, all right? So I'm going to click File, Export to Word for me. All right, so you save it as a Word doc. Let's say I'm gonna put Jmorin unit to upload, all right? I just name it something obvious. I usually put it on my desktop so I can find it easily. Yes. Okay, now let's go back to Google Drive. So I go into the same folder that I had before, and this time I want to upload my most recent document. And since I worked offline, I want to make sure that what's online reflects all those changes I did at home. So you're in the folder, right? What you're going to do is click New. So you're basically wanting to bring in a new document into this folder that's not currently there. So you click New, File, Upload. I can click Desktop, or it's going to automatically be there. And I write, oh, yep, this is the unit to upload. Double click. So it's uploading right now into my Google Drive. So what do you notice here? I notice this W. So what does this W mean? This W means that right now it's a Word doc, not a Google Doc. So if I double click on this, it's going to give me a preview of the Word document, but it's not editable. Okay, I can't edit it right now. So if I want, I can click Open with Google Docs, and it should transform this Word document into a live Google document. So you click Open with Google Docs. Now, I have personally found some formatting things that happen when I do this way between Google Doc Word, Google Doc Word, Google Doc Word that I don't like. So like right here, it's kind of highlighting things. I didn't think I highlighted the whole thing before. And then just the formatting, things get pushed around. See, the meaning is now different. It's just a formatting pain. So that's why I usually just work online in Google Docs. It saves you a lot of formatting and like reformatting later. But anyways, the changes that I made are there. See? check out this online resource. So what I changed is now current in Google Docs. And then again, now we have this live version. All right. So now let's go back to that folder with all of my information. Now, here's the issue I told you we were going to have. So I have the original Google Doc. Then I have my Word doc. Now I have an updated Google Doc of what I edited at home. So it gets to be too much. So what you can do, if you're afraid to hit the delete button, don't be afraid, you'll be fine. What you can do is title these differently so that your trainer knows what they should really look at. Because if they go into, oh, Jmorin unit, okay, that might not be the most updated. So just be careful of that. So you can change the name on this. I hit Control click, might be different shortcut for yours. Rename, I can say Jmorin J first draft unit. Okay, then I don't need this document anymore. I don't need it. I have the most updated here. Plus my computer also has that. So I'm going to delete that. Bye-bye. And then I have my to upload. Now that is actually my final draft for now. So I'm going to rename this Jmorin J unit final version. All right. So some people like to have multiple docs showing the transformation. Oh, this is my day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. You can do that if you'd like. I know personally that if I do all of my work in Google Drive, I can actually go back and see the editing I've done. You can see the previous versions. So that's why, again, I really encourage you, push yourself if you're not a Google person, push yourself and try to do all of your work in Google Doc. It'll save you stress later. And again, that Google Doc is going to be in your Google Drive. All right, so going back to my, let's say, my final version, one final thing I'm going to show you is that for sure, there's no save button. So let's say I change my title, genetics and probability. Let's just say I want to keep it probability. Okay, let's delete this. Deleted. See up there? It's saying save, and now it says all changes saved in Drive. So if for some reason, you make a change and you're like, oh, where do I hit save? I don't know where to hit save. There's no save button. It's automatically doing it for you. So as long as your Wi-Fi is, you continuously have access, it'll keep saying that. Any change you make, look, now it's back, all changes saved in Drive. Your folder is a shared folder with the people that your trainee wants to have shared. So I'm guessing, your 2 trainers, maybe Allison, maybe a few other people. But if you do want to share it with someone else, maybe from your school or maybe somebody else you're collaborating with, you can share your folder. So I'm in the folder, all right? I can just click this plus person button and you can type in emails here. If you just want them to view it, you can change that here, or if you want them to be able to edit it and add comments, I would click on can edit or can comment. All right, so that's up to you. You write their email address. Let's say Jmorin, that's my other email address, whatever. Take a look at this. Send. And it's sent. Okay, one final bonus tip for Google Docs is how to highlight. That seems to be something that people have a hard time with, or it's like kind of tricky finding. So let me just show you that real quick in case you do a highlighting activity, not just on paper, but virtually. So if I wanted to highlight, I'm looking at my knowledge and my skills and I want to highlight how my explain cause and effect is just going through. So I'm going back to my FLGs and I want to highlight that within my knowledge and skills to make sure that they're everywhere, whatever. What you can do is select the text you want to highlight. Now up here, you're thinking that that's text color. It is, but it's also highlight. So if you want to change the color of your text, you can do that, or you can click over to highlight and now it's highlighted yellow. Did you know that? So that's your bonus little tip. All right, I want to highlight this. Oh, this aligns with that. So I'm going to make sure I'm still on highlight and not on text. Oh, that one's going to be blue. All right, there you go. All right, I think that's it for now. The only other thing I'm going to say is that at the end of this training session, they might send out a survey for you to take. Actually, they will definitely send out a survey. And sometimes when that survey gets sent out, it gets stuck in spam, okay? So if you've checked your work email and now your Google account, in case those are different, and you still don't have the link to that or to any of these things, just check your spam. So when in doubt, check spam out. It might be there. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to go back and click on the parts that might be tricky for you. And if you have any questions, I'll leave my email in the comments. All right, bye, good luck, you can do it.